Hello and welcome back to the only BBC you're ever going to need. It's the Blackford Book Club again. Cue the jingle. And I promise wholeheartedly to never do that again. But this is episode 5, but it's the first of my second self-published books, Ashes to Ashes, in May of this year. I'll just read the reverse. 50-something ex-fast bowler who could bowl a mean off-cutter but always marvelled at this grandest of all games. I'm also a veteran of many through-the-night tours. This is my second book and first on a sport that always enchants me and is the book on test match cricket I've always wanted to write. Quote, I admire Ben Stokes for non-sporting reasons as I do another of England's current totemic sportsmen, Tyson Fury. Both men have been incredibly frank and open with their struggles with mental health. Incredibly frank. One continues to be the heavyweight champion of the world with the giant presence of a taller George Foreman and the hand speed of Muhammad Ali. The other is a 31-year-old leader of men recovering from the loss of his father, as well as the recovering and recovery from the darkest of all human places. For that alone, I greatly admire Ben Stokes. This is the human story behind England's tours to Australia and New Zealand via the West Indies and Pakistan amid a sporting revolution redefining the very essence of the sport worldwide. Test match cricket is alive and well. Vive la révolution. Here's the opening few pages. Dedication for my loving parents Maureen and Patrick for introducing me to the grandest of all sporting contests. I think of you often as I make yet another cup of tea before yet another fascinating day of test match cricket. Special thanks, together with a whole host of cricketing names from England, Australia, the West Indies, Pakistan and New Zealand, will be a number of names and nicknames, characters and lifelong friends upon whose friendship I've depended on throughout my life, both on and off the cricket field. To spare their blushes, I've only used their Christian names and or nicknames, and I can't thank you all enough for sharing a small slice of your lives with me. As you will soon discover, this isn't just a story and collection of diary entries following the fortunes of the England cricket team for 14 incredible months. Rather, this is a human story about human beings, a fact often lost in the ever-quickening pace of life today. This book is also dedicated to the memory of Ian, Bill and Stan. Thanks for sharing a cricket field with me and thanks for the memories. Introduction. As is so often the case with my writing on this, the grandest of all games, or any of my longer form pieces on football, cinema and film appreciation, or any of the varied topics that still reside inside any of my numerous notebooks, I never intended this to become a book. My original intention was to report solely on the 2021-2022 Ashes series in Australia, and as ever, my writing has pleasingly gained a life force all of its own, and in anticipation of the summer 2023 Ashes series, I couldn't resist revisiting my journals on not only that long ago humiliation down under, but also the disastrous trip to the West Indies that followed, before the Stokes and McCullum revolution ripped up the cricketing scorebook in Pakistan and New Zealand. These are therefore my combined journals from the England tours to Australia and the West Indies, Pakistan and New Zealand, covering 14 months of test match cricket. I've endeavoured to write each and every entry a little differently along the way, but what I didn't account for before I compiled these together was the daily diary aspect that runs through the majority of my writing once again. However, if you read any of my writings, you'll notice that this happy accident emerges constantly. I just adore test match cricket, and as you're about to discover, this isn't simply because of the nature and unique aspects, customs, laws and language that pervade the great game. Above all, it's the escape into a semi-secret illicit world of watching the great game in the middle of the night with a constant supply of tea and biscuits wrapped against the biting cold of an English winter as my eyes lie to me, and I'm transported to the sound and colour of Bay 13 in Melbourne on a balmy summer's Boxing Day morning, or the picturesque open ovals of New Zealand and the grass banks awaiting your decision where to sit for the day. I was sitting at home in central England, but as soon as the alarm woke me from my slumbers, and of course after that first cup of tea of the day, I was immediately in Karachi, or beautiful Mount Maunganui, Barbados, or the SCG in Sydney, and I was in my happy place. Thank you so much for taking a leap of faith with this book, and I sincerely hope you will feel rewarded for doing so as I bring you a colour and flavour for watching Test match cricket through the night, aided and abetted by sleep deprivation, tea aplenty and chocolate biscuits galore. I hope you enjoy the ride and I'll see you on the other side. Stephen Blackford, present and correct, 21st of May 2023. So that wraps up the introduction to my second book, and I thank you for watching this video and I thank you for listening. There will be 4 more to follow on this particular book itself, available at Amazon, whereby I will read a diary entry from their Ashes tour to Australia in 2021-2022, the follow-up tour to the West Indies, the follow-up tour to that later in 2022 in Pakistan, and then the great series of 2023 against New Zealand. So there are 4 more videos to follow in this particular, for this particular book. There will be links below, hopefully, if I'm ever clever enough to do so, with a link to the book and my other 3 books that are now available that are all self-published. I'll also link a Patreon account if I have been again clever enough to create one, and I will obviously be very grateful if you would like and subscribe. If you can find it to throw some money up the internet on the Patreon account, I'd be grateful. I'm obviously here in a purely self-contained bubble, if you like, where I've self-published, and I'm just looking for the sales that are going to poke the eye of the publishers that refuse to read my manuscripts. That's all. And I'm just looking to continue writing, as alongside writing and being with my son, I'm in my happy place. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, thanks for listening, peace as always, and thanks for watching.